have the balls to make the calls?
Welcome back, real estate enthusiasts. Are you ready to take your investing skills to the next level? Well, I have some exciting news for you today. Get ready to learn the secrets of taking over house payments and doing as many deals as you want. Hi, my name is Justin Chamness, and I've been in the real estate game for years. I've seen it all, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Today, I'm thrilled to invite you to join me on a free real estate live stream every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. During our live stream chat, we'll dive deep into the world of creative real estate strategies, and I'll present you with various deals. And here's the twist. You decide what to offer. That's right. You'll have the chance to put your knowledge to the test. Have you ever wondered which strategy to use in a particular situation? Should you go with an all-cash deal? Or maybe explore a subject-to arrangement? Or perhaps lease purchase is the way to go? Well, you're in luck, because we're going to discuss all of these strategies and more during our live stream. The big question is, will you know what to do when faced with different real estate scenarios? We'll cover it all, and at the end of each live stream, I'll reveal to you the answers. You'll walk away with a deeper understanding of the best approaches for each deal. But wait, there's more. Our live stream isn't just about me presenting deals and sharing knowledge. It's an interactive experience where you can connect with fellow real estate enthusiasts from around the world and share your thoughts and ideas, ask questions, and get involved in the discussion. So mark your calendars and make sure that you don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to learn and grow together. Join me on our free live stream every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's time to become a master of creative real estate strategies. Remember, the power to take over house payments and do as many deals as you want is within your reach. Together, let's unlock the secrets of real estate success. I'll see you at the live stream. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back, real estate enthusiasts. All right, I don't know what else to call you. You're awesome. I call you awesome. Real estate enthusiasts, always thinking about it, huh? Got it on your mind. Like a relationship you can't get away from, huh? Ooh-wee. I know. Real estate's haunted me too. It haunts me. It does. In my sleep, I think about real estate. In my sleep, I dream about buying houses. Hey, you know what they say about a foreign language? You know that you're really learning a foreign language really good when you are having dreams in it. Let's say you're studying French. Now you have a dream where you're speaking French. Other people are speaking French. Now you're really getting into the French. Like you really picking up, right? I think it means something when you start dreaming about buying and selling houses and making money. I think it means something. I think it means you're starting to talk the language. You're starting to become that vibration wavelength. All right. Not to get too metaphysical. Hey, what's up, Rashik? It's really good to see you. It's good to see everybody here. I know there's a good group watching already. The live chat is open, so let's go ahead and, if you want to, introduce yourself in the live chat. I'm very appreciative that everybody that watches this event on Wednesday nights weekly tunes in. Thank you so much for that. I'm very, very honored, and I do not take you for granted because your attention is very valuable and your time is very valuable. I understand that. All right. So tonight what we're doing is we're going to do part 3 of I Bring the Deal, and you tell me what type of strategy is going to fit. All right. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about creative real estate strategies. This is my cheat sheet right here, everybody. This is my cheat sheet. You can see it. If you want a copy of this, I recommend you get a copy of this. I recommend you get it over at shutupmoney.com. Shutupmoney.com. All right, right there. It's listed right there on the cheat sheet. This is free for you. It will help you play our game tonight because I'm going to present over the next few minutes, I guess several minutes, about the next 50 minutes. I'm going to present, I have 6 deals teed up one from last week was homework. And we're going to talk about what deal strategy fits it best, right? Why is this important for us? Because we are trying to maximize transaction opportunities. All right, everybody? I want you to memorize that. I want you to get that stuck in your head. Tonight, when you're dreaming, I want you to remember my voice. All right? And I want you to hear me say, maximize transaction opportunities. That means stop leaving money on the table. Right? When you have a motivated homeowner, not every motivated homeowner is a discount cash offer. So you're going to want to definitely get this cheat sheet and familiarize yourself. In fact, there is an entire free course over there where you can catch up. If you're not caught up with me, all right, I give away now, since we've been doing this, the free creative real estate transaction engineer course. Okay, go get it. It's free at shutupmoney.com. All right. If you have a problem, text me. I'll make sure you get there. In other words, if you've been there before and you can't get there again for some reason, I'll send you the link. Text me. All right. But everybody needs to go get that cheat sheet and that course. The modules are video modules. They're short, to the point. The best thing, in my opinion, about it is you see the questions here, okay? There are questions in each strategy. For example, all cash, you would ask the homeowner, if I pay all cash and close quick, what is the least you can accept? Okay, somebody was asking me about this earlier in the week. What would I say, Justin, if I were talking to somebody about raw land and the answer really is tied up in another question, and that is, well, what strategy are you thinking of? Are you thinking of doing a discount cash offer on a empty lot, maybe flipping it to a builder? Is that the ultimate goal? Okay, that is the cash strategy, right? So you slide down, if I pay all cash and close quick, what's the least you can accept? So you might lead with a question like, hey, have you thought about selling recently? If they say, oh, well, sure, we would be open to that. Okay, great. If I pay all cash and close quick, what is the least you can accept? All right. So you see the questions are very valuable. Let me just throw a little tidbit here at you. Can I throw a tidbit? And by the way, while I'm doing this, will you guys do me a favor and let me know you're out there and are ready to get rolling, because I'm going to start the clock and I want to do the first property deal in 2 minutes. Okay. The first property deal is going to start in 2 minutes. Okay, but let me just go back to this chart. You can get the chart at shutupmoney.com. Okay, you can get it at shutupmoney.com. If you need the chart, I'll put that in the little scrolling thing down here at the bottom. All right, and the chart looks like this. This is the cheat sheet. You know what me and one of my buddies has been doing this week? Both of us. We've been trying to send out text messages to for sale by owners that say, will you be the bank for us for a time? Will you take a small down payment and finance the rest for us? Okay. Also kind of toying around with this one over on seller carryback. Will you take your equity as a small down payment? In other words, will you take your purchase price? We would send out, will you take your purchase price as a small down payment and the rest in installments? You want to hear the crazy news? The crazy news. 55 seconds, we're going to do property deal number 1. I want you to get ready, okay? Hey, thanks, Rashik, for putting in the chat there. Everybody say something to me in the chat so I know you're there. We do have a good number of people watching right now. Even sending out that text message or one of those text messages, I'm getting a yes or positive type response every 100 or so that I'm sending. Probably I would like 3 or 4 on average are saying I would talk about that. Can you believe that? Okay, so if you're questioning in your mind, hey Justin, is this a good time to get in this business? Hey, let me ask you. If I'm sending out 100 texts to for sale by owners and they're all saying, hey, two or three out of every 100 are saying, yeah, I would consider something creative, a lease and then selling, or I would consider a small down payment and then the rest in installments until you can get me financed out. Okay, what are we talking about here? We're talking about homeowners that are open to some of these creative real estate strategy. Is strategy a word? Somebody put it in the chat. Is strategy a word? I don't know. I don't know if it's a word or not. Rashik says here real quick before we jump in, because we're going to jump in. Time's up. We're going to jump into deal number one. You're going to please in the chat put down what you think the deal strategy is that fits. Okay. But Rashik says, Justin, can I get the cash buyer to put a down payment on the earnest money if I don't have it? Well, yeah, bro. That's absolutely what you want to do. Very, very, very smart. Yes, sir. I would definitely do that. I would try to collect. See, and here's what I do. He's talking about an ugly house deal where I believe he's talking about an ugly house deal. Okay, let's pause for a minute. Ugly house deal where he's got to put in an offer with some earnest money. Sometimes 500 down. Sometimes it's more than that. Sometimes it's 1,000 down. Earnest money. Okay. This is usually an ugly. Yeah. See, Rashik is saying yes. Ugly house. Ugly house. Okay. Yes. I'm picking it up. It's an ugly house. Okay. And yeah. So here's what I do, Rashik. I try to set it up like this. Hey, I'll do the $500 earnest money, and it'll be due the day our inspection period ends. Sometimes that works. Sometimes I'll break it up like this. $100 with the contract, $400 when the inspection period ends. And if I'm dealing directly with a homeowner, usually I'll explain it like this, Mr. Homeowner. It costs a lot of money for me to buy houses and to send vendors and people to go look and approve the deal for me and everything. And so for me to put cash in your hand just for you to return it in the case that the house isn't what you say that it is, it really doesn't make a lot of sense. But now I do agree that you do deserve something that shows that we're serious. So how about if I agree to the $500, we'll do $100 with the contract, and then the rest, the $400, the day my inspection period ends. That way you won't have to return any money to me other than the $100 if the house isn't what you say it is. And that way, everybody's still on the up and up. Is that something we can take care of? Or is, maybe you have a different plan, Mr. Homeowner? Okay, so that's my tip on that. All right. So great question, Rashik. Great question. All right, folks are popping in here. We do have a decent group. Let's get into property deal number one. Are you ready? Drum roll, please. All right. Just a quick reminder, your job will be to tell me, is this a deal that is best suited for an all cash discount offer? Is this best suited for a subject to? Is this best suited for a wraparound? A seller carryback? Could be a seller carryback hybrid is what we're talking about here, really. A seller carryback and subject to. So in other words, taking the property subject to, but also, owing money to the homeowner and making a payment to them as well. All right. So that would be a seller carryback. Number 5, installment for deed or contract for deed or land contract or whatever it may be called in your state. This is an executory contract. All right. A lease purchase. Number 6, or a lease option. Number 7, a straight option. All right. Now, what will fit best? Deal number 1, go. 54100 Coleman Court. A full gut job in a nice neighborhood. The sellers want a minimum of $20,000. They say they need it for a down payment on their next house. They have told you that they will not do a subject to sale. However, they are desperate. Okay. Are you getting a picture of who the seller is? All right. Here's the details. The ARV's $370,000. The homeowner's mortgage is $100,000. They have a PITI payment every month of $1,300. The repairs to retail this property are $50,000, and the homeowner is asking $270,000. All right, I'll give you 2 minutes to think about this particular property. What will be the right strategy for it? What will be the right strategy? Okay, we've got all cash, discount. We have a subject to the existing loan, which they've turned down already. A wraparound. A seller carryback subject to hybrid. An installment for deed or contract for deed. A lease purchase. Or a straight option. All right. The clock is ticking. We have about a minute left. Please put your responses, what type of strategy you would use to offer on this property, and then we'll discuss here just when the time runs out. You have 1 minute left. 1 minute to make your offer. What type of strategy will you use? You don't have to give me the numbers. You just have to put it in the chat. You have to put it in the chat. What would you say? Would it be an all cash offer, or would it be a subject to deal? All right. Would it be a subject to, or would it be a wraparound? They've turned down subject to. It might be a wraparound. All right. So it might be since they've turned down subject to, it might be a wraparound, or maybe an installment for deed. Okay. Installment for deed. This is a full gut job. Full gut job. All right. Where are we at on time? We are down to the seconds, mere seconds. Okay. What we have is 54100 Coleman Court. This is an ugly full gut job. All right. Ugly full gut job in a nice neighborhood though. So that's good. That's real good. The seller wants a minimum of $20,000 as a down payment on their next house, but will not do subject to. This is a good one. This is a good one, and I'll tell you why, because I think a couple different things could possibly work here. See, what's nice about it is the ARV's 370. That's pretty healthy. They also only owe a mortgage of 100, and they have a payment of 1,300. Both of those are really good numbers because they're really low. Repairs to retail, it's going to take 50 grand in rehab costs to get it back up to that 370. So there's probably $40,000 or $50,000 worth of profits in here if you were to pull the trigger on an all cash deal. That's right. If you were to pull the trigger on an all cash deal. Now, what would we do if in an all cash deal? We would definitely not offer the asking price of $270,000, would we? What would you offer if you're going to offer all cash? What would you offer? Go ahead and put that in the chat. We'll spend a few seconds thinking about what we would offer as far as all cash goes. If we were going to do all cash, what would it be? The asking price is $270,000. The ARV is $370,000. It needs $50,000 in repairs. Does anybody know what the formula is? You would know what the formula is if you went over and you got the free course, because it's in there and it's a sliding scale. Depending on the purchase price. Okay.
So, what's the price range here that we would do an all cash offer? Does anybody have an idea? What would you offer dollar wise? Does anybody have an idea? This is for 54-100 Coleman Court. Asking price $270. Come on, guys. I want you to sweat a little bit in private so you can sparkle and shine in public. Right? Because you guys know that the NBA tournaments are won in private, right? Right? I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big basketball guy, but I do know that they work hard when the doors are closed and no cameras are looking. 200K. 200K. I'm starting to like what you're cooking here, Mr. Carl. It's good to see you, dude. Good to see you. Rashik said 120. Then 120 is a pretty low number. Big Sheik is going for blood. Hey, dude, they say make that first offer shockingly low, and that's a shockingly low number, bro. Hey, I love it, man. I love it. 170 would work too. I think you're right. Somewhere around the 220 range, everybody. Around the $220,000 range is where your cash offer is going to be. All right. Let's talk about what else it could be if we were able to get the homeowner to do something creative. What could we do? Maybe. I'm just going to throw this out there. Would we do a wraparound on this one? Would we? I'm asking. I'm not saying we would or wouldn't. I'm just asking. Would we? Put it in the chat. Would we do a wraparound? Would a wraparound work? Again, let's take a look at the wraparound right here on our cheat sheet. Okay, wraparound, both ugly and pretty. Okay, so that qualifies. It's ugly. The deed would transfer now. Okay, well, they're not willing to do a subject to, but they might be willing to do a wraparound. I don't know, maybe, but I wouldn't think so. I'm thinking they're going to say no. If they said no because of the reasons why they said no. Probably would say no to a wraparound as well, but you could shoot for it possibly. The seller's going to continue to make their mortgage payment. You're going to make a payment to the seller. That's the wraparound of the whole wraparound mortgage concept. So could you do a wraparound? Could you make a payment to the homeowner? Maybe put some money in their pocket, $20K down for a down payment, and then maybe wrap the rest. And could you wrap this? Could you Aretha Franklin? All right. Could you? That's like probably the oldest rap song ever, and nobody probably even here knows what I'm even talking about. But I'll break it out sometime in the VIP. I love that song though. It's super, super old. It was a guy it was a white guy with a cowboy outfit on. I don't remember, do you guys remember that? Like way, way back. This was way before, like maybe about the same time as Run DMC. So, but anyway, sorry, I digress. Could we do a wraparound? Could we do a wraparound? All right. I think we could. Joseph says, yes, we could. Okay, so we could. All right. I agree, Joseph. If the seller is willing to do it and they are desperate, they could possibly agree to doing this wraparound. Good job. Sammy says 225. Yeah, I think you're in the ballpark there. And what a nice deal. Hey, how about this? Before we move on to the next property deal, what about this? Somebody let me know what would be a good source to get the money. Like, how would we get the money to do because what we're talking about here is we're talking about doing a cash money deal. We're either going to wholesale it or we're going to hotel it or we're going to retail or fix and flip it. But one way or another, we're going to try to monetize it. Right? Okay. Not complicated. Right? So how would we do it? Anybody got an idea? How would you do it? Where would you get the money if you were going to retail it? Wouldn't it be easy to get the money on a deal like this? Remember, this is a junker, ugly house. This is a gut deal. You're going to have to rip everything out of it. But then also it's in a nice neighborhood. You could get private money for sure. Yes, you could get hard money for sure. All right. This is a nice house in a nice neighborhood. So you could personally, as an investor, retail or fix and flip this one yourself. If you had a partner, you could maybe hotel it, or a private lender, maybe you could hotel it or retail it that way. Or maybe you're just on the balls of your ass financially and you're like, hey, I don't even want to get involved. I'm just going to wholesale it to somebody that does want to retail it. All right. All right. So that's, I think, what we would all do in this case, unless we are equipped to go ahead and do a fix and flip on this full gut job. All right. Now let's move on to property deal number 2 in 5 seconds. All right. Here we go. Property deal number 2. 5493 San Antonio Road, pre-1950s house. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. The details. This house needs updates badly. Inherited by 3 beneficiaries. We just want to cash it out, is what they say. They're all 3. So does everybody understand what I mean by 3 beneficiaries? 3 beneficiaries means that grandma passed away, left the house to 3 kids. The 3 kids all agree they just want to cash it out, baby. That's right. So you got 2 minutes to go to make your offer. The details are it's a $300,000 ARV. The mortgage that they owe is 0 because they just inherited it free and clear from grandma. They don't have a payment. The repairs to retail grandma's house to get it up to modern day standards, because it's a pre-1950s house. And we're going to talk about this in the details. Why do I have such a high number? Well, it needs a complete rehab. It's pre-1950s, so $70,000. Woo, woo. Oh my goodness. That's a big rehab job. Not quite so big anymore, but it's still pretty big. Asking price $180,000. They know it needs a lot of work. They've dropped the price to $180,000. What would you do? What would you do? All right. What would you do? All right. You got to think about it. You got to think about it. We got 50 seconds before we start talking about it. And here's the chart. Would this be a cash money offer on San Antonio? Would this be a subject to? Would this be a wraparound? Would this be a seller carryback? Would this be a lease option? Or an installment for deed? Contract for deed? Maybe a straight option? You know, we never mention straight option, do we? Because it's just about the same as getting an all-cash discount offer. It's just a little slightly different paperwork, but for the most part, option, all cash, about the same, So we don't really talk about time's up. All right, what are we going to do? You guys are putting it in the chat already. All cash, baby, all cash. You know, am I going easy on you tonight? Well, I'm going easy on you tonight, but I'm about to turn up the heat. I'm about to turn up the heat on you. You ain't even going to know what to do when a motivated seller calls on you. We're going to get into some tough ones. And it's going to be fun. But right now, we got to talk about this one. This one's pre-1950s. Will somebody tell me, just put in the chat your opinion or what you know about pre-1950s houses. Okay, anybody in the chat, please. Why is it important that we know if a house was built pre-19, especially an ugly house? Okay? especially an ugly house. Why is it important to know about pre-1950s? Okay, I just want to know if you know. And I want to see it in the chat. Let's talk about houses. See, we're in the house business, so we got to know about houses. One thing about, somebody put lead paint in here, man. You know, that's something I wasn't thinking about. But, you know, you could be right. Could have lead paint. You know, that's a pre-1950. What else could it have? If it's pre-1950s, what else could it have? Come on, y'all. What's wrong with a pre-1950s house? Or what's right about it, maybe? I don't know. Maybe that's what you want is a pre-1950s house. Put it in the chat. What do you think? Okay. All right. I don't know. You know, I can tell you that pre-1950s is, radon gas, somebody said. I don't know. Radon gas, maybe. It could be radon gas. Maybe that affects homes that are newer than 1950 as well. So, you know, what is it about pre-1950s that Justin's trying to... asbestos! That's another one. Man, how drastic. Yeah, horrible. I mean, it only causes cancer. So, I mean, how bad is that, you know? And so, you know, asbestos, that could be in the siding. It could be in the ceiling tiles. It could be... You know, who knows? Maybe in the flooring or something. Asbestos can be in various places. It can be around. Yeah. It can be in your, maybe in your ductwork and stuff even. I don't know. So pre-1950s houses also, a lot of them are built, nobody mentioned this, but let's talk about this. When you run into a house, it's important when you're an investor. Okay, you got to understand this stuff because... You know what? And something else I want to do here sometime soon, and I want you guys to remind me, maybe put it in the chat if you think this is helpful. If you don't put it in the chat, I'm not going to do it because it sucks. All right? But what I want to do is I want to go to an ugly house, and I'm going to go through it, and I'm going to crawl up underneath it, and I'm going to show you guys everything that you need to look at in a house to make sure that you know what you're getting photos of, to make sure you know what you're buying, and that, you know, so you know what this house is. So you know, you see all the major systems, you see the beam that holds it up, you know what's going on, so you know what to do. I want to have a little school on that, like a class. It's going to be a pretty good size class because I want to go through an entire house and just show you what you as a wholesaler or a beginning fix and flipper person needs to look at in a house because you know, houses are just like human bodies. They have systems, okay? And if you look at the systems, you'll be able to tell, hey, this house needs this kind of rehab, all right? So if you guys want that kind of class, put that in the chat because I'll like to do that for you at some point as well, all right? You guys put in here anything else you're thinking about with the pre-1950s. Pre-1950s houses are often, they're framed differently even. Okay, if you don't know what I mean by that, I mean how the wood is all put together. Okay, it's different. The electrical system can be an entirely different electrical system than the one you're used to in your house. Okay, the plumbing can have weird old pipes in it, okay? And a lot of times it can have lead, you know, or whatever, you know, what is that, lead pipes? Right? Some really old stuff out there. Okay. And, you know, you might want to get a photo of that if you're taking a look at a house, you know, which Carl says, hey, Carl's the only one that wants me to do that. Carl, I'll do it, man. I'll do it just for you, buddy. I love you, Carl. But yeah, it's going to be fun. I think knowing about how these houses work, pre-1950s houses might be harder to sell. Contractors oftentimes maybe are a little more reluctant to take on a project house of before 1950s because once you get into sometimes the city code is once you get in behind the drywall, if you rip down, let's say they don't have drywall, they have what is that other stuff? Somebody put it in the chat. All right, I'm testing you. If a house is old like this and it doesn't have drywall, what does it have? All right, I want you to put it in the chat. That's a pretty easy question, but I want you to put it in the chat if you know it. If you're looking at an old house pre-1950s and it doesn't have drywall, what does it have? Okay. If you take that substance off the walls, okay, which I'm waiting for somebody to put it in the chat, plaster. There you go. Okay. If you take that down and you expose the wall, a lot of times you have to reframe everything too, which is even more money. Okay. So there's a lot of money that can go into a pre-1950s rehab. All right. So just Carl Dillard says there's a what's up on the wall is newspaper. You know what? That's a good fix for a small hole sometimes, I think. is newspaper. All right. So let's get back to the deal. Pre-1950s, it's going to be a big rehab bill. What are we going to do here? We're going to do all cash money here. All right. We might take an option on this as well, because remember, we're talking about the same thing. You know, cash money discount offer is basically kind of what we're doing with a option or straight option. All right. So if you said one of those two items there, if you said a cash offer or you said a straight option, I think that is a good offer. All right. These are three inherited. These are three kids that hit the lottery when grandma passed away, and they got a house and they're wanting that cash. All right. So you're going to want to work out a deal for cash money. All right. There's no mortgage to take over, so it wouldn't be subject to. There's no payment, so it wouldn't be a wraparound. They want all cash, so it wouldn't be installment for deed or lease purchase. It would be all cash, or it would be a straight option. All right. Good job if you participated in that one. All right. I just want a friendly reminder, everybody, that I am giving away the course that talks about the topic that we're dealing in the last several weeks. And that is at shutupmoney.com. And it is a transaction engineer course. So I've added some things to it recently. In the course, you'll find not only some simple trainings about each strategy, you'll find the cheat sheet we're working with tonight. You're also going to find in that course, there are seller information sheets so that you can get the information that you will need for the deal to do each strategy, and the agreements. So in each strategy, there is the seller information sheet now and the agreement. So if you want to do a cash deal, you can do that. If you want to do a subject to, you have every piece of paper you need to get it going. And then the same for all the other strategies, the wraparound and the seller carryback and the lease purchase and the lease purchase. Yeah. Oh, I love it. You know, it's my fave. All right. So, there's that. All right. Let's get back to the game here. Last week we had a toughie. This one was really hard last week, and you guys didn't really know what to do. And frankly, I had to think about it myself. So I'm going to put 2 minutes back on the board, and we're going to pull this one right back out of the hopper, and we're going to reintroduce it to you this week. 62100 Lackluster Street. Blue collar house, blue collar neighborhood. The sellers are 4 months behind. We really just want moving money, and we will leave. The bank can have it or whatever. That's what they said. Okay. Here's the deal details. $310,000 ARV. They have a mortgage of $180,000. They have a payment of $2,200 a month. They have repairs of $2,500, minimal repairs. Now here's where it starts getting sketchy. They have a judgment against the house for $40,000. They also have another lien for $60,000. And their asking price is $290,000. Ooh, this is hard. Oh, my brain. Oh, my brain. You know what? somebody sent me a really good answer, and their name is Joseph. Joseph sent me a really, really good answer, and I'm not going to give it away yet because I want you to have a few. I'm not going to give it away till the time runs out. I want to give you a couple minutes here to think about this, because some of you, this may be the first time you're looking at this one, but if you recall, this is one that this was the stumper last week. We were stumped on this one. Didn't know what to do. What are you gonna do? Buzz drops below 55 miles per hour. What are you gonna do? What do you do? What do you do? Hey. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Time's up. All right. You guys want to hear this great answer that we got? Here's the cheat sheet. That might help you think about it. I'm going to give you another 20 seconds. And we're going to talk about the answer that Joseph introduced. Let's do that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Joseph's. All right, let me see if I can share screens here. And let's see if I can go over to the sharing screens button here and make that work. Okay, I think you guys have my email pulled up. I think you should see my email here. And Joseph says, this is a lot for chatting, but 62100 Lackluster Street. The ARV is $310,000. The mortgage is $180,000. The payment's $2,200. The repairs are $2,500. The judgment on the property is $40,000, and the lien on the property is $60,000. They're wanting $290,000 to clear away all of that. Now he says, ignore the $290,000. Because really all they want is moving money. And he's right about that. Okay. Negotiate the judgment and the lien to at least 30% or better. So get the judgments and the liens negotiated down. If we were... Now, yes. Okay. Wow. This is where he really, really sparkles and shines. Now, Joseph, I want to give you a blue ribbon. Prize number 1. You won. You get the Gold Star Award for Best Student of the Year because of this answer right here. Hands down. Case closed. Problem solved. All you have to do, according to Joseph, is negotiate the judgment and the lien down to a reasonable amount, and then take the loan over of $180,000 subject to. Yeah, reinstate the loan 4 times $2,200, because remember they're 4 payments behind. That would be $8,800 in cash you'd have to pay to catch up the loan. $5,000 moving money. So the initial investment would be grand total $50,000. Okay. Use other people's money. Now, where did you come up with this 30,000? Oh, the 30,000 is the negotiated down judgment and lien. Yes. And that equals, okay. So in other words, could you sell this property to a investor buyer who would put more than $50,000 down? That would create a spread for you. And who would be willing to take over the note and cash flow every single month. Exit strategies, lease option, wraparound, assign the deal. Yeah. Ooh, beautiful job. Beautiful job. Now, I know you guys probably couldn't see it because I had this stupid caption thing over top, right? Is that what happened? Let me show that email one more time so you guys, if you want to screenshot it, you can, because Joseph really, really hit this one out of the park. Okay, look at this. ARV. Okay, here it is. ARV 310, mortgage 180, payment 2200, repairs 2500. He broke it down. Good work. Good work. Now, see, that's the hardest one we've done so far. That's the hardest one we've done so far. And he brings in an interesting idea here to negotiate the judgment down, to negotiate the lien down. Now, how do we know that this is likely possible? Okay, let's talk about that. How do we know this is likely possible? So you could definitely, if you have a second mortgage, you could definitely short sale it, probably take over the subject to the first mortgage. So if William Herndon is talking about that, I think that would work in a case where there's a second mortgage. In this case, we know that it's likely possible that Joseph can talk down the lender or whoever it is on the judgment and get a settlement down on that, maybe for 1/10 of the price. And then he might be able to also talk down the lien holder and get them down. And the reason why is because if they don't, what will happen? The sellers are 4 months behind. If the house goes into foreclosure, what happens to the second and third and fourth lien holders? What happens to judgments? What happens to lien holders? What happens to everybody but the first lien holder? In a foreclosure, what happens to everybody but the first lien holder? Okay. I'm going to tell you, everybody but the first lien holder, unfortunately, in this world, they get nothing. So would they say to Joseph, well, sure, Joseph, instead of getting nothing, we'll take a settlement right now and give you a release of lien? Okay. Would they do that? Sure. Would I do that? Sure. Something's better than nothing. Okay. So awesome job. Good job, Joseph. Super good job, man. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is better than you, Joseph. Nobody better than you. Here's the next property deal. It is 4062 Mountaintop Way, number 279. Watch it. Number 279. Is it a trailer? No, it's a luxury house. What's that mean? Usually when I see number 279 and it's a luxury house, I know that means it might even be in a gated community. It has a number because there's a homeowners association. Okay. So think about it. A 4062 Mountaintop Way, number 279. And we're going to talk about this one in 2 minutes exactly. 2 minutes exactly. All right. So details, $1,700,000. No mortgage, no payment, no PITI. The HOA fee is $650 a month. Repairs to retail, $200,000. Ooh, mama, this is where you want to live. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to live in no crap ass house, shit box. You want to live in a nice Mountaintop Way, number 279, with the mountain view and the skiing and the state park nearby and This one's badly damaged, and the seller won't own or finance it no matter how much you beg his ass. He just won't say it. He won't say it. He won't say it. So you're like, damn, I want to own or finance this one so bad. Where am I going to come up with this money? $200,000? What kind of a rehab job is that? Oh, this is going to be a nice rehab job. This is a luxury rehab job. This is the kind of house where you're glad when you get home. All right? This ain't the kind of house where you hate your fucking neighbor because he's... Never mind. Just gonna let that go. All right. What do you do? Time's running out. What do you do? What are you gonna do when this motivated seller runs wild on you? That's my Hulk Hogan impersonation, y'all. All right. I'm going to put the graphic up one more time. We're going to talk about what we're going to do with 4062 Mountain Top Way. Well, this is an expensive deal. What did I say? 1.7 mil. Oh my gosh, 1.7 million. Justin, can we even do lease purchases on $1.7 million houses? Oh, you bet your ass. You betcha. You can. And you know what's so interesting about that? I've done one, and not 1.7 million exactly, but over a million. And here's the thing. Those folks are educated, man. I mean, they didn't just get money this morning. So they know cash is king. You ask anybody that has it, and they'll tell you. All right? So they know what owner finance, seller finance, lease purchase, they know what that stuff means. So it's kind of an easier sale. It just needs to make sense, and you need to sound like somebody with some brains. Okay, that they can trust, that knows what they're talking about. That's all. But you can do these big old deals, man, and some like I told y'all before, $50K on that one. Okay, look at this one, and I've even got the receipt over on the damn website, y'all. Go look at it. If you don't believe me, I don't care. Go look at the receipt. I got it over there. Okay, what are we gonna do on this one? Though this is a luxury house. It's right close to a state park. Golly, it's gonna be super nice. Yeah, it's gonna be super nice. All right, time's up. Nobody put anything in the chat here. Put it in the chat. What would you do? I will do one type of offer on this one particularly, and that is option this one. He's not open to owner finance. What choice do you have? Are you going to enter into a purchase and sale agreement and try to wholesale flip this one? Do you have a buyer that's ready to take on a $1.7 million, $200,000 rehab job? Do you know a buyer ready for that yet? Okay, if you do, then get the contract, get the paper, get that cash money offer, discount, purchase and sale agreement out and ink it up. If you don't, then what you want to do is you want to get an option. All right, an option. And then when you find a buyer, you can totally sell your option. Or you can go back to the homeowner and get your contract out then and ink it up and then sell your purchase and sale agreement. It's all up to you. So if you were playing along, and some of you were, if you were thinking straight option, good job. Yes, we do have a round of applause sound here. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but All right, let's do the next property. Are you ready? All right, we got 5 minutes left. I don't know how much further we're going to be able to go. Let me make an announcement really quickly. I am putting on an advanced workshop. This is 6 techniques for acquiring a lease option wholesale deal every day that you work. Okay, now that is a little clickbaitish because you will need to do more than one day's work to get here. Okay. But I will lay out the plan and I will show you some pretty advanced shit that I'm doing. All right. That if you're just a brand new person, you may not be prepared for. Okay. So, yeah, Victor's got some good stuff to say here, man. Yeah, I want to talk about that too, Victor. So, but anyway, if you're interested in an advanced workshop on how you can write a deal every day, get that kind of momentum going in your life, I've got some really good advice on how to structure that. And I've got some really good advice on some down and dirty tricks you can use to your benefit that will make more homeowners say yes. Okay. And I call them down and dirty tricks, and they're not down and dirty and they're not tricky, but they are smart as hell. All right. So just, you haven't heard them from anybody else because ain't nobody else doing what I do like I do when I do what I do. So I'm doing it that way, and I want you to do it that way too if you want to. All right, there you go. So there's that. All right, here's what Victor says. What do you think the option fee for us would be to paper it up for the 1.2, 100 to 500? Are you talking about 100 to 500,000? Okay, because let's go back to the deal. We're talking about a $1.7 million property. He's asking 1.2. If we got the paper, anything above 1.2, if we papered it an option at 1.2, anything beyond that would be money. Oh God, life-changing amounts of money. Holy shit. Really? Life-changing. Yes. Anything beyond that. And I mean, you could start getting into some pretty decent spreads. Do I think you need to leave all $500,000 on there? No. Do I think you need to get $25K on this one for an assignment fee? No. I think you need to maybe partner with the buyer and split the ass end on this. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe just a thought. I don't know. Maybe you just settle for $100K and you go your way. I don't know, but you could make some good money on this luxury house. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great point, Victor. Super good point. Okay, so let's do another one here because I'm having a good time. I got 2 more. Let's do 8322 Reagan Parkway Place. A pretty condo in a government courthouse district. Whoa! I'm throwing curveballs at you now. All right. Pretty condo in a government courthouse district. No repairs are needed to this condo. Ooh, do we even screw with condos? I don't know. The seller's open to carrying a second mortgage for her equity. She requires $30,000 down, though. Ooh, snap. That's a lot. I don't know. Here's the ARV, $350. Mortgage is $164,000. Thank you, Victor. I appreciate you saying this is great. I'm having fun too, man. PITI included. HOA, PITI including the homeowners association is $1,800 a month. That's not bad. That's not bad. You could cash flow here, I'm thinking. Okay. Man, some of these condos are $2,200, $2,500, $2,600 a month, y'all. Maybe more. Repairs to retail this condo, 0. Asking price, $350. That's the problem, is the guy wants every bit of what this place is worth. But he's willing to do something. She's willing to do something, sorry. $30K down. $30K down. $30K down. Okay. You get in the chat room, you just start chatting. That's how you get in the chat room. If you want to come in here, it's shutupmoney.com/LOL. If you want to come in this room with me on camera. All right. 30 seconds till we get to talking about Reagan Parkway Place. It's a pretty condo in a government courthouse district. You know, I get excited. Man. You know what? I get excited when I run into a condo that's in a government courthouse district. You know why? Because that's good money, man. That's good money. That's right. Time is up. Time is up. All right. What are we going to do? Are we going to discount cash offer? Subject to? Wraparound? Seller carryback? Are we going to installment for deed? Are we going to lease purchase? Or are we going to just do a straight option? We're going to do just a straight option. What do you think? What do you think? Big Sheik says lease option. Do we have any other opinions? Because I think you could do a lease option, but that's a large down payment for a lease option, Sheik. Pretty large. See, if I'm going to ask somebody to put $30K in on $30K plus, because see that $30K pays the seller, but I got to get mine too, so I'm going to need at least 40 or 50. Okay, so for a lease option, see, to put that much cash into something, I'm going to want to get something more than just a lease. And that, see, because that money's non-refundable in a lease option too. That's a bunch of money. Okay, don't let a seller try to convince you that's not a shitload of money. That is. All right. Okay, yeah, you'd have to get 40 or 50 down, you know, in order to make it work as a lease option. What about something else somebody said here? What about a subject to? Would a subject to work? I think a subject to could work. Let's see here. ARV 350, mortgage 164. Subject to seller open to carrying a second mortgage. Doesn't this fit subject to seller carryback hybrid? Wouldn't we take over that first mortgage payment? $1,800 a month. Wouldn't we establish a second mortgage payment going to her? So we would do a subject to seller carryback hybrid. Is that possible? Put it in the chat. Is that possible? Who in here would do a subject to seller carryback hybrid? If that's you, I want you to vote. Vote right now. Subject to seller carryback hybrid. The second option would be, would you do a wraparound? Could a wraparound work? Could you wrap the original mortgage of $164,000 and a payment of $1,800 a month plus whatever you owe her into one payment going to the homeowner, and the homeowner then pays the payment to the mortgage company and the HOA, or maybe you do the HOA. Yeah. I mean, so would a wraparound work is what I'm saying. Would a subject to seller carryback hybrid work, or would a wraparound work? Okay. Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you still there? Hello? Is anybody out there? Okay, I think we have some votes subject to hybrid. Somebody says, yes, it's possible, but should that amount plus the $1,800 a month be around the market rent? Well, yeah, man, you're going to need that. Yeah. Smart thinking. Yeah. See, now you're starting to think like a transaction engineer, right? Right. Because now you're starting to think past what I would do with the homeowner and how would I monetize this on the back end. Am I going to make money monthly or not? Interesting. Anybody else got a comment? Hey, Big Sheik, thanks for being here, bro. This was a good one. This one will make you think. Let's do one more before we call it quits tonight. All right, here we go. This one's my favorite one for tonight. 1031 Asylum Avenue. You know, I put this one in the machine when I was having a moment of questionable mentality. And I was like, you know, I feel like I'm just going to do 1031 Asylum Avenue. Seller is scared. Have you ever been scared before? I sure have. This seller is scared. And they got a notice of default because they're 3 months behind. Oh, it happened pretty quick for them, evidently. Because you'd go longer than that, not get a notice of default. Sometimes, right? And then, but they already got a notice of default, and they're scared. They're in pre-foreclosure now. All of a sudden, what once was going to be the family home forever, now they might not be able to keep it all. They're scared. Okay. Pre-foreclosure. Next Wednesday, instead of doing the game, we're going to take a week off of the game here, and we're going to come back to the game the week after. But next week we're going to do a workshop on pre-foreclosures, marketing to pre-foreclosures, how to monetize a pre-foreclosure list. Okay, I want you to make plans to be here with me, because there's a lot of people that are just like Asylum Avenue. Let me ask you this question right now, but while we're wrapping up. Are the notice of foreclosure filings, is that number going up right now in history? Is it going down, or is it staying the same? Put it in the chat. Is the number of foreclosure filings in the United States on the way up, on the way down, or is it just staying the same? Somebody already knows, and they put it here in the chat. The answer is more families are going to experience foreclosure than probably any other time you and I have witnessed. Maybe ever. Okay. Here's the thing. What if you were prepared to help people just like 1031 Asylum Avenue? What if you were equipped? Next Wednesday, we're going to do a workshop, a free workshop for you on how to handle pre-foreclosure leads. Okay? Where to get them, how to contact them, how to converse with them, what's the questions and the words you'll use. How can you monetize those deals? Because there's more strategies even than what we've talked about. We mentioned it once tonight, short sales and other things that can be done. There's stalling of the foreclosure. There's other techniques that can happen. There's partnering that can go on with homeowners sometimes. So we're going to get into a workshop next Wednesday. Don't miss it. Okay. Now, what are we going to do right now to help 10,031 Asylum Avenue? The seller's scared. They're 3 months behind. Notice of default received. They just want moving money. And they want somebody that'll make it all go away, Justin. Justin, give me something that'll make it all go away. I wish I could. ARV 360,000. Mortgage number 1 252,000. Oh, we're gonna have to do some math. First mortgage payment is $2,000 a month. Mortgage 2 is 100,000. That's $700 a month. Repairs to get it up to retail value is going to take $10K. And they're wanting $358,000. Boy, that's a tough one, isn't it? That's a tough one. Put your thinking cap on with me now. Let's study real hard for a minute. Think about it now. Is this, what kind of deal is this? Is this an all cash deal? Is this a subject to? Maybe this is a wraparound. Maybe this is a seller carryback hybrid with the subject to. I don't know. Maybe this is an installment for deed. Is this a lease purchase? Or maybe we're just going to take a straight option, or maybe there's something completely different. Something completely different. What would it be? What would it be? All right. Time is up. No more time to think about it. All right. Time is up. What do we do? What do we do? Somebody put it in the chat. What would you do? Could she pull her equity out and do a wrap? As I wonder if you're talking about the same one, William. Now, the key in this whole deal here is that the seller just wants moving money. Got to remember that. Victor says sub 2 wrap. Sub 2 wrap, then sell the paper for wholesale. Okay, so, all right, you wouldn't do a subject to and a wrap. Okay, so that what you would do is you would do a either or, but you might do a subject to with a seller carryback. Maybe those are some options. I don't know if they fit this deal. We're just talking in general. Lease purchase, straight option, sub 2. Let's see, would a sub 2 work? Let's just go through. Let's just look at the chart and see if we can decipher through. See, that's what we're here for. We're here to study, right? So let's just think it through, because we're smart enough, we're good enough, and people like us, okay? So we're going to be all right if we think through. We take a pause moment and we just say, okay, now let me just think about the details. Okay, now they owe a grand total of 200, even though it's 2 different mortgages, they owe $352,000. The house is worth $360,000, so they ain't got no equity much. They got moving money equity. Plus, it needs $10K in repairs. All this sucks. This all sucks. I don't see anything. What? Somebody please help me redeem myself with this one, because this sucks. $360,000. They owe $252,000 plus $100,000, $352,000. Plus it needs $10K in repairs, and they want moving money. This all sucks. There's nothing good about this yet that I can think of. Hold on. The first mortgage is $2,000. The second mortgage is $700. So it's $2,700 a month for. Wow. They're 3 months behind in the notice of default. All right. Joseph gave us a clue on this one earlier this evening. Does anybody remember what that clue was when Joseph gave us the clue? Joseph gave us a clue. They want a little bit down, give them some moving money, so calculate that into the deal. But what will you have to do to make this deal not I would pass on this one as is. There's not really much redeemable about this one. It's not that great. The payment's not even that great. It's $2,700 a month. That's a lot. All right, so here's the thing. What would you have to do to make this deal good? Joseph gave us a hint earlier. Okay. And again, these are people in foreclosure. Okay. They're in pre-foreclosure. So this is, I think, encountered this twice tonight where people are behind in payments. This is, Sammy says pass on this one. Now, Sammy, I would pass on this one too, unless I could accomplish one thing. Okay. What is that? What is that? What would I do? And Joseph gave us a hint. Somebody think about it and put it in the chat, and then I'll wrap up tonight. We'll be done. But there's a secret to pass. There's a secret to making this one work. What's the secret to making this one work? Okay. Negotiate the loans down. Yes. Negotiate mortgage number 2 down. Because it's already been notice of defaulted. Okay. I know I said that really bad. It's already gotten the notice of default. So remember what happens to every other lien holder except the first one. When the first one forecloses, what happens to the rest of them? What do they get? This is the second time. See, this is why we're doing this, because it's important that we go over these details, and sometimes over and over. All right. Next week, we're going to do a workshop on pre-foreclosures. Don't miss it. But everybody except the lien holder number 1 that files for foreclosure, everybody gets nothing. So if this house goes into foreclosure, mortgage number 2 for $100,000 is going to get a damn goose egg. Right. They don't like that. They'd rather get $10K than nothing. All right. So negotiate it down. Whatever to whatever. Make it something that makes the deal work. Now you're in a position, William. Exactly, buddy. Now you're in a position to take over this property subject to. You can take over the subject to the mortgage number 1. Yep. You could totally do that. Now you guys are starting to think like transaction engineers. I like it. I like it. I'm proud of you. You've come a long way. You guys are awesome. All right. That's a good one. That's a good one. I would pass on this unless I could work that second mortgage down. Short sale the second mortgage. William said, no, never mind that. That was on the condo, but this works right here too, okay? All right. All right. Hey, love you guys. You guys know that. Don't forget, free course. Go get it at shutupmoney.com. If you like me, I want you to know I like you. We could talk on Zoom if you want. All right. It will be fun. I promise. Okay, next week we do have a workshop at this time. We're going to do a workshop, and it's going to be less blurry than I am right now. All right. So stay tuned, and we'll get into pre-foreclosures next week. I promise it's going to change your life. Hi, I'm Justin, and I've been in your shoes. I've invested thousands of dollars generating leads only to find out that almost always the deal numbers just did not align with my low cash offer. But then I discovered the power of creative real estate, and everything changed. Hey there, aspiring real estate investors. Are you tired of the same old grind? I sure was. Searching for sellers who are going to be okay with your lowball offer? Well, I've got good news for you. The keys to success in today's market lie in becoming a creative real estate transaction engineer. And guess what? I've developed a free course just to show you exactly how I did it. Just imagine going from making cash offers on ugly homes to doing creative real estate strategies like subject to, wraparounds, seller carryback hybrids, contracts for installments or contract for deed, lease purchases, straight purchase options. That's what being a creative real estate transaction engineer is all about. With over 600 successful wholesale deals under my belt, I'm here to share my insights and empower you to achieve similar levels of success. My students around the world have achieved impeccable results, and I want you to join them. So how can you get started? It's simple. Just visit shutupmoney.com and sign up for my free creative real estate transaction engineer course. In just a few hours, you'll gain the knowledge and tools needed to start implementing these strategies. But wait, there's more. I'll even provide you with all of the necessary paperwork and agreements to get you started. It's all about taking action, really, and saying yes to leads more frequently. It's time to unlock your potential and become a creative real estate transaction engineer. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Start today and embark on a journey where you can confidently write deals whenever you desire or need to. Remember, the world of real estate is evolving, and being a one-trick pony is just a thing of the past. Embrace your creativity and engineer transactions that benefit everyone involved. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you inside the course. Sign up now at shutupmoney.com. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. What are you waiting for? Let's go.
How much I feel bleed out, how much woman I feel dead. Before you see, say so.